guys, welcome to the show. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Travis.
This is our Game 4 recap for the NBA Finals, and boy, what a game for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They won 137-116, 86 points in the first half, 49 points in the first quarter alone. They were on fire in the first half. Really, for the entire game, they were on fire. And boy, what an offensive explosion for them. Record-setting first half for them. What did you see in the game?
Yeah, I thought it was a great game. Kyrie Irving, he came out early in the game, really set the tone. It was really fantastic. He was aggressive with his shot. I think he had 25 points by halftime. That's just incredible. I believe 10 of 12 shooting from the field. Kyrie Irving really, with his back up against the wall, on the brink of elimination. The Cavaliers really played their best game of the series, finally. I thought it was really entertaining to watch. It was physical at times. It almost reminded me of, back in the old days where the two teams, they just did not like each other. It got a little out of control at times.
Yeah,
it was pretty, I liked it though.
I like that though. You'd rather have it be a little bit too physical than, in the first three games of this series, I thought Cleveland really did not bring that physical edge that they really needed to in order to keep it competitive in this series. And that's kind of been their downfall, in this series. They let Golden State do whatever they want to do offensively. And, I think they said enough's enough. We're not going to lose on our home floor. We're going to bring it. It might only be for one game. Might not win the series, but we're not going to have them celebrate on our home court. And, they came out on fire. Kyrie Irving was hitting ridiculously dumb shots. And they were going. And J.R. Smith, I believe, hit like a 35-footer with two guys in his face. You just knew it was their night once you saw those shots going in. And, they were just on fire from the three. And you look at, they shot it 53% from three, 24-45, which is an NBA record for the finals. So there are a bunch of records being set here. But Kevin Love was 6 for 8. Kyrie Irving, who went over 7 in Game 3 from behind the three-point line, was 7 to 12. J.R. Smith was with another strong game, 5 for 9 from 3. And they just got it rolling. It's not like the Warriors played bad. I thought they played pretty well. They had a little bit of a slow start, a little bit of bad turnovers here and there, a little bit too loose with the basketball. But, Kevin Durant had another good game. Klay Thompson was pretty good. They really didn't get any contributions, though, from Stephen Curry or Draymond Green. We'll get to Draymond Green a little bit later. He had some moments in this game that were pretty entertaining. Not from a basketball standpoint, but from a refereeing standpoint. But, Warriors still, they scored 116 points. So, Cavaliers were just on fire.
Yeah, and I think what's crazy, what a lot of people forget about was, I believe Golden State finished with 62 points
in the
first half, which is, still outstanding. That just shows how focused, locked in the Cavaliers were, ready to play. Yeah, like we said in the first video, J.R. Smith, he's got to show up. He's got to contribute. He's got to play defense and make his threes. He had 5 threes. He had another strong outing. I thought Kevin Love did really good. And we finally saw Tristan Thompson show up.
I was about
to
say that.
He actually looked like he was focused and locked in.
Yeah, just going over Tristan Thompson's stat line here. He only scored 5 points, but you can see his impact on the board with 10 rebounds, his highest in the series. He had 5 assists in this game. Yeah. So he was getting a lot of offensive rebounds and finding cutters and shooters off of those offensive rebounds, which is pretty nice for the Cavaliers. And, that's just something they haven't had in the series, is that dominant force on the glass. It's giving them extra possessions, And Cleveland's really good offensively. That's their strength of their team, their three-point shooting, getting LeBron and Kyrie in ISO situations, and then kicking out the shooters. And getting those extra possessions will be very key for them, in this series going forward, obviously. But, it's incredible to think about 86 points in the first half. We've been talking about how Golden State's offense has been historically great for this entire season and into these playoffs. And, Cleveland's just going out there saying, hey, we have a great offense too, and you can't stop us. And that's basically what happened. And just going back home, I thought they were going to, come out in this one and really put it all out there as, their backs against the wall and stuff. I didn't see this coming. This came, not necessarily out of nowhere, but it was definitely unexpected.
See, that's where I disagree. I think we saw glimpses of it in Game 3, where Cleveland started to look like the team that was dominant this year, had a great postseason run until the finals, and I thought in Game 3 you kind of started to see glimpses, and then Game 4 it kind of all came together. I thought they played a great game, and I think this wasn't as surprising as many people think. Steph and Clay and KD, they're all bragging, thinking, oh, we're going to sweep them. We're going to get their finals rings in Cleveland again. I think the LeBron and the rest of his teammates, they came ready to go. And I think going into Game 5, I think the Warriors got to be a little bit, they're a little bit scared.
Yeah,
We've seen 3-1 before. We all know what happened last year.
I don't know if that's going to happen again. We'll see. But, I think the difference here is, Cleveland, they're on their home floor. I think they really fed off the energy of their home crowd. It was a little bit quiet in the first opening minute or so, but once Kyrie Irving started doing his thing offensively, the crowd really got into it. And, they were like bashing on the Warriors when it got really physical there in the second half. A fan got thrown out of the game. Let's talk about that second half where, a couple technical fouls there. Draymond Green, we thought he was going to get kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
And it turns out there's a referee mishap in the first half with that first technical foul. So, I don't know. That was a little bit weird to me. I think an skeptical NBA fan would say, like, oh, it's the NBA trying to rig it again for some reason, which it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The Cleveland Cavaliers were just on point offensively. Too much for the Warriors in this one.
I'm really glad they figured that out because, in my opinion, you can't just throw out a star player in the NBA Finals. I'm glad, in the first half, a lot of people thought Draymond Green picked up his first technical foul. But if you look back on it, you see Steve Kerr run from the bench, get in the ref's face, and he kind of just tees him up like that. He's definitely got, you got to be clear because you got Steve Kerr on one side, Draymond Green on the other. So, I guess in the scorer's book they said it was marked Draymond Green. Yeah. But then the refs came in, they said no, first half technicals on Steve Kerr, and that let Draymond Green stay in the game.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. I mean, you want to see the best players out there. We've had too many things in the previous two finals where, there are injuries or suspensions happening. It's just like, you want to see both of these teams at full strength for these games.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was a great game for Cleveland. Going back to have a little bit of momentum going into Game 5 now. What do you think is going to happen in Game 5?
Yeah, I think Cleveland, even though they're down 3-1, I think they have a lot of the momentum going forward. I know it's really almost impossible to steal a game in Oracle, but I think if Cleveland comes out again with that fiery, passionate energy and they punch Golden State in the mouth in the first half, get a nice lead, get their momentum going, I think Cleveland, the series is far from over, and I think they could potentially steal a Game 5, and then they're going to be going back home Game 6. What do you think?
Well, I predicted in our last video, saying that if Cleveland was able to get a win in Game 4, that they would lose in Game 5, and I'm sticking by that. I think, I look at, the box score here. Draymond Green, he had some pretty good stats, but he didn't really have a big impact on this game. I think he'll have a bigger impact at home, where his emotion will feed off of with the crowd more. And, Stephen Curry had an awful game. 4 for 13, 2 of 9 from 3, 4 turnovers. He really didn't get into this game at all. Some of that was Cleveland's defense. They were physical with him a lot more in this one. But I think at home he'll find his stroke again. And, if one of those two guys can have an impact and Thompson continues to shoot it well, and then I think Kevin Durant, we just know by this point he's going to be consistently just fantastic.
Yeah, he's going to do his thing. And, as we all know, role players will always step up at home as opposed to the road. We saw that with Cleveland. Their role players stepped up. Richard Jefferson gave them good minutes. J.R. Smith finally got his stroke back. Tristan Thompson's finally get going. So I think with the home crowd behind them, the Warriors will be able to get a win. I think it's going to be a closer game. I don't think it'll be a blowout like the first two were at Oracle Arena. But I think it's going to follow that same formula where the Cleveland Cavaliers will come out and they're going to try and get a punch in the mouth, try and take the game early. But I think the Warriors, with the home crowd behind them, will go on a few runs, and eventually they'll get a lead at the very end and win this thing. Yeah, it's definitely going to be really interesting because you kind of see two teams trending in different directions, Like I said, you got J.R. Smith playing well, Tristan Thompson playing well, Richard Jefferson's been playing well. While for the Warriors, like you said, Draymond Green struggled, Steph struggled, Clay struggled. And I think, maybe Cleveland found a way to kind of slow down that high-powered offense.
Maybe.
They were a lot more physical with them, and that kind of showed that Golden State kind of struggled dealing with that physicality. I think if Cleveland can match that like they did in Game 4, I mean, they're definitely not going to let the Warriors take this easy.
No, I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
If they do win, I don't think we're going to see any more blowouts in this series. I think they're going to be all be close games for the most part. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking for an X factors here. You know, I think Iguodala could have a big game at home for them. He didn't really do much in this one either.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, the Warriors have so many weapons on their home floor. Their role players will play a little bit better. I think they take this one. They win the series 4-1 for the Golden State Warriors in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our show. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you for a recap for Game 5 and potentially a recap of the entire series. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching.